Hello Bloomington, I'm Mayor Tim Busse, and this is the Council Minute for the week of August 8th. On Monday night, the City Council rejected a petition brought forward by a group of residents that would have placed the question of ranked choice voting on the ballot this November. The petition was rejected because its language was unconstitutional and inconsistent with both the Minnesota Constitution and Minnesota statutes. As you all know, in November of 2020, Bloomington residents approved a ballot initiative regarding the use of ranked choice voting. Voters changed the city charter, which is basically the city's constitution, and said they wanted to use ranked choice voting in elections for council members and the mayor. Ranked choice voting was used for the first time in November of 2021 in 3 city council races. In June of this year, the city received a petition from a group of residents who are opposed to ranked choice voting. The petition requested that the question of ranked choice voting be placed back on the ballot again this fall and asked voters once again if it should be used in municipal elections. Another part of the petition said that if the question of ranked choice voting ever came before voters again, it could only be approved if it received yes votes from 2/3 of voters in an election. While the petition met the requirements regarding number of signatures and formatting and so on, it was the 2/3 issue that caused the City Council to reject the petition. Minnesota state law states very specifically that ballot questions that would change a city's charter must receive 51% voter approval. No city is allowed to overrule state law and require 2/3 or 67% voter approval. That's not just Bloomington's opinion, that's the opinion of the State Attorney General's office. Our legal team reached out to the AG's office for help in sorting this out, and the AG's office cited relevant and applicable case law from Minneapolis and Chisholm. It would have been irresponsible and probably illegal if the city had ignored legal precedents and moved forward with the petition as written. And to clear up any misunderstanding, the city couldn't simply change or clean up the language of the petition to make it legal. People signed that petition according to the language they saw, and there's no guarantee they would agree with changes that would be made. The resolution the council adopted rejecting the petition stated very clearly that the petition is rejected as manifestly unconstitutional and inconsistent with the Minnesota Constitution and Minnesota statutes, and a question for the petition cannot be placed on the November 22 general election ballot. Nothing the council did on Monday night prevents opponents from ranked choice voting from submitting another petition in the future. But the language in the current petition means it will not be placed on the ballot this November. You've certainly heard by now that on Thursday, August 4th, there was an incident at Mall of America where a fight between 2 groups led to a man firing 3 shots into a crowded store. Thankfully, no one was hurt, but the mall was on lockdown for 2 hours, and the event was undoubtedly terrifying for guests and employees in the mall, as well as their loved ones who were worried about them. The 2 primary suspects are still at large, but I have complete confidence in our Bloomington police investigators and have no doubt it's only a matter of time before the suspects are in custody. Earlier this week, Bloomington police arrested 3 people who were not directly involved in the incident, but who did help the 2 primary suspects escape. As Police Chief Booker Hodges said at a press conference on Monday, "You cannot come and shoot up a mall and think you're going to get away with it. We're not going to allow that to happen." I couldn't agree more. Once those responsible are in custody, there needs to be accountability and consequences. On behalf of everyone, I want to thank Chief Hodges for his leadership, and I certainly want to thank the Bloomington police investigators and all Bloomington police officers who have worked this case tirelessly since Thursday. I'm very appreciative of your hard work, your skills, and your obvious dedication to Bloomington. I'm also appreciative of the strong partnership between Bloomington Police and the entire team at Mall of America. I know those 2 groups put in countless hours of training and preparation, hoping they never have to put that training to use. But when something like this happens, that preparation results in exceptional work under very difficult circumstances. Thank you all. And while we're handing out public safety kudos, you've heard me say many times that the most common complaint or concern I hear from residents is about traffic safety in neighborhoods and on city streets. People driving too fast, people driving recklessly or aggressively, or distracted driving. I'm happy to report your concerns have been heard. Over the past several months, Bloomington police have concentrated their efforts on traffic and have emphasized proactive patrols. This past June, Bloomington police made 1,173 traffic stops. That's 46% more than the 804 traffic stops they made in June of 2021. Those stops resulted in 858 citations, which is a 39% increase over the number of citations written in the same period last year. This proactive work, being seen in the community, being out and about, it's all part of Chief Hodges' commitment to service to the community that's based on mutual respect. And we're seeing results beyond traffic. Despite concerns that this might be a busy summer on the public safety front, crime in Bloomington continues to decrease. We saw crime reporting numbers come down in the first 5 months of this year compared to last year, and from May to June of this year, we saw a 6% drop in those numbers. And while the numbers are still being collected for July, we expect to see a continued drop. Once again, hats off to everyone in our police department. Thank you for your work and for your commitment to keeping Bloomington safe. Finally today, back in May of 2021, the City Council denied a change in condition application for a 15-unit townhome development at 86th and Penn. The developer had received permission from the city to rezone what had once been 2 single-family residential lots to allow the townhome community. However, the council denied the project because of concerns about the final design, especially the lack of a second full access along Penn Avenue. Penn Avenue is, of course, a county road, so Hennepin County had reviewed the project and wouldn't allow full access from Penn Avenue. The developer asked for a condition that allowed for an emergency-only access. The council denied that request, and ultimately, the developer sued the city. The lawsuit was decided recently by Hennepin County District Court in favor of the developer. The court ordered the city to approve the change in condition and allow an emergency-only access. This past Monday, the council followed the court order and passed a resolution approving the change in condition. The developer now has 2 years to pull a building permit. When this issue came through the council in 2021, there was a lot of interest and concern from the surrounding neighborhood. We made sure to notify all of the neighboring properties within 500 feet in advance of this issue being back on the agenda on Monday, so they understood that the city was being ordered by the court to allow the project to move forward. If the project does move forward, I expect the developer will be sensitive to the concerns of the neighborhood and build an excellent community. That will do it for this week's Council Minute. Thanks much for joining me today. Till next time, stay safe, Bloomington.